Hey everybody, back again for more answers to my Q&A video. Texas Teabagger asked, what's my favorite Kung Fu movie? I think my favorite, and I would grab the box, but I honestly cannot get to it from just some of the things I have stacked in front of my wall right now. But it's probably Master of the Flying Guillotine. It's a fun little movie, a lot of quirkiness. If you ever played the Street Fighter 2 game with the guy where, like he punches and his arms get longer, that's basically where that came from. Just a lot of stuff like that. It's super hokey, but it's just because it is all over the map. It is the perfect kung fu movie. I love martial arts in general. I mean, stuff like Jackie Chan movies. I also love the big epic stuff. I mean, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Hero, stuff like that. I've been a big fan of over the last couple of years. I try to see most of that stuff that comes out that's stateside, and I seek out other ones where I hear about them, stuff like Shinobi, and but I don't go looking as often as I can. I bought a book years and years ago, which I'll try to talk about one time, that kind of went into like the Pinky Violence movies and things like that, and I got into that for about a year. I was watching tons and tons of that stuff, and there's a lot of great stuff. But again, at some point in the future, I'll try to do a video talking about that book and some of those movies, and maybe you'll catch that and get some more. My favorite music, I covered that in one of my other videos too. As not to prolong this, I say look it up and over there, but a lot of rock and roll and indie rock, stuff like that. He asked if I do drugs. I actually don't do drugs. I've never really done drugs. Again, not chastising anybody that does. I have a lot of really close friends who use either recreationally or actually have addiction problems. People that I love very much, but me myself, I've never used them. I've never even smoked pot. It's just never been something I wanted to do. I have a very addictive personality, as you can tell with all these DVDs and things like that, and it's just something that, for me personally, is just not a road I ever wanted to try to go down to, because I'm afraid of what I could turn myself into if I went that way. So, quick answer to that is no, never used drugs of any, at least any illegal substances. From time to time I'll drink alcohol, but even that, I'm just not a, big party dude, as they say, in that sense. Recreational here and there on alcohol, but not much. Also wants to know, do I like the movie Groundhog Day? I love the movie Groundhog Day. I think it's one of the best comedy movies of the 90s. Just very well put together, just well thought out. Bill Murray is probably, I don't know, it's like he kind of has, three very distinct, times in the 80s. This in the 90s, I think, was definitely his best work. And then, some of the later stuff he did, Lost in Translation and Broken Flowers and things like that. I think Groundhog Day is, probably the best. I love Ghostbusters, but Groundhog Day kind of nails it, for my favorite Bill Murray movie. Absolute Sublime 1 asks, he says, congratulations on the 400 subscribers. Sorry to hear about your car. I hope you can get it fixed. It is 3 weeks later, and it supposedly is going to be out of the shop tomorrow. It's a new transmission. It costs way more money than I even want to talk about. But hopefully, we'll be back among two automobiles tomorrow. So thanks for asking. What are your top 3 horror movies? I know I talked a little bit about like Universal horror stuff like Creature from Black Lagoon and The Wolfman. So I'll say in modern day, some of my favorite stuff. Again, I love The Signal in the last couple of years. I like Nightmare on Elm Street a lot, the original from there. I think Freddy Krueger was just a really interesting character because you could not escape him. Halloween again is a great movie. I don't know. I mean, there's so many movies. I love horror movies, and it's hard to like nail down like, oh man, this is like my favorite stuff. I like Amityville Horror a lot. I read today they're apparently selling the original Amityville house again. I know a lot of people think that movie's kind of weak sauce or like a rip on The Exorcist or whatever, but I love the music in that movie, and for some reason, like haunted house stories in general, I really dig. So there's a couple. Again, if I had a little bit more time to think about it, I could probably nail down a little bit more, but I'll try to do another video that kind of talks about some of my all-time favorite horror movies. Favorite remake, again, I talked about The Thing. King Kong's another one. Again, King Kong, the original, being my favorite movie. I thought Peter Jackson did a great job. I know I will catch a lot of flack over that because a lot of people just hated that movie, but I enjoyed it. Favorite remake, gosh, I'm trying to think of anything else in the last couple of years that I've just really enjoyed. They've been few and far between, but there have been some good ones throughout the years. It is out there and can be done. Favorite sports movie, I did pick some of my baseball movies that I know some of you guys saw. favorite sports movie. I'm still a big fan of The Natural with Robert Redford. I think that's a great story. I like Slapshot a lot. I'm not even a big hockey fan, but I think that's just a great movie. I don't know, anything that kind of catches the. I think if you can make people laugh and at the same time make them laugh, make them cry, make them get mad all in the same movie, you're doing a good job. So I think stuff like A League of Their Own is, in a really good spot. But again, like nailing down, hey, this is my all-time favorite. I'm not sure. Some of the stuff that people love is like Rudy. I think is drivel. I have a really funny Rudy memory from way back when because I was at this girl's birthday party and I was just like, man, I don't even want to be watching this movie. I just want to hang out with this girl, but there it is. And I was young. Coming out with that asked me what my favorite childhood memory. Again, I had a really good childhood. I had a great family. I've got 3 sisters. My parents are still together after all these years, and I don't know. I mean, like we took a lot of vacations. We did a lot of things together. Spent a lot of time with my dad, just working with him, which is a luxury that I know my sisters didn't get. So I have tons and tons of my favorite childhood memory. Though I couldn't nail it down. I will say there was a point where me and my father were attaching like this wood block to the bottom of a Christmas tree, and he drilled a hole through like I guess it was like the linoleum in our kitchen, and that stuck with me, and it really made me sad years and years later whenever my parents remodeled their house because they tiled over it, so the hole that was in the floor was gone, and it wasn't even big enough you could notice it, but it was kind of always there for me. So that's like the one thing when I go home that kind of makes me sad because somewhere underneath that, that new tile floor there is a piece of linoleum with a hole in it. So I'll give you that one. Any fun plans for the summer? Not really. So I'm not taking a true vacation this year. The vacation time I am getting, I'm shooting my movie, so that should be fun, but I know it's going to be a lot of hard work. I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready to kind of just get on and do a feature film. I've worked on feature films before, but doing one that's all my own, I'm really, really looking forward to it. Other than that, I'm just going to play with my kids. My daughter's last day of she's in pre-K. Her last day is this week, so I'm ready to move out of that just so I get to sleep an extra hour in the morning by not having to get her up and take her down there. Let's see. Raven Dream asks, how long did it take you to grow the beard? I was discussing this with my wife just the other day. It's sitting at right about 5 years because I had it whenever my first daughter was born, and I cut it off a couple months after that, and then I've just been kind of letting it grow, and we'll trim it from time to time, but for the most part it's just been growing for about 5 years. And I'm going to cut off here because I'm not sure where I'm at on time, and then I'll jump back in with some more questions from Raven Dream. See you in a minute.